because it's Pokemon Day as of when I'm uploading this, I figured I'd do something a bit different, a bit more special. We're just gonna name all the Pokemon because it's something I like to do. I actually do it a lot-ish. And it kind of depends on how bored I am, but it's something I have done a lot in the past. To the point where if I'm in the regular mode where you can just name them however you want, I can do it in about an hour. It's like an hour, 6 minutes, something like that. I don't remember my fastest time exactly, but somewhere around there. So just to make it a bit harder, it is going to be in next order, and just going to see how fast I can do this when I have to name them in order, which makes it a lot harder, by the way. So just gonna dive right in and start the timer. Okay, hold on a second. I actually need to pause already. Okay, I just forgot to set my headphones so that the noise wouldn't play through the speakers, which I do not like. Anyway, so the starters are always easy because it just goes in order from grass to fire to water. After that it gets a bit more complicated because the first things after the starters is usually either the early bug, the early rodent, or the early bird. So you just kind of have to know which one to be able to name them. For some reason Sandshrew, I mean Sandshrew can be found pretty early on, so I guess it's not that weird. Sometimes my fingers get a bit ahead of my head, and then you get really weird spellings. This placement was always a bit weird to me. I'm not extremely familiar with Gen 1, so maybe you can find Vulpix kinda early, but this still seems like an odd placement for them, because I'm pretty sure they're after Mount Moon. But I would say that this is oddish. Yeah. I would say that the Pokédex is kind of in order of when you can encounter them in game for most generations. But the ordering gets pretty weird in some of them where things are not where you would expect them. I'd say Unova's probably the best about it. Everything's pretty much in order, exactly as you'd expect it. But Johto's like impossible. Galar's highly confusing as well. Okay, now is probably Paris, yeah. Psyduck, I usually forget Psyduck and Golduck. I also often forget Mankey and Primate. It's always kind of funny what you do or don't forget because it's not always related to how much you actually like the Pokemon. I mean, I don't really care for the Psyduck line, but I do actually kind of like the Mankey ones. Is Growlithe next? Wow, it is. Okay. And I know Poliwag comes after Growlithe. So Gen 1 likes to kind of insert the water types kind of randomly throughout. So I try to remember them in pairs. So like, I know Seal comes after Dodrio, for example, because it's like completely randomly placed otherwise. But I believe this starts the, this is a little section of 3 stage lines, most of the 3 stage lines outside of the early game stuff are here for some reason. I know there's like a bit of a gap after this. You have like a 2-stage line and then you have Geodude, but I don't remember what it is. Is it Tentacool? Yeah. Those ones trip me up a lot too. Those two. And now I don't remember. Yeah. Let's see, maybe Ponyta time? Wow. Kind of impressed I remember that. Was it Magnemite after? Yeah. It's more water, isn't it? Slowpoke? Yes. Now Magnemite. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I had to deal with the cat. She was being a bit of a nuisance. She's been fed now, so hopefully she'll settle down. We'll see. What comes after Magnemite? Is it far-fetched time? It is indeed. After you... Why am I thinking purple? No? Oh, maybe Grimer though? Okay, yeah. Purple was the right thought, apparently. Grimer is basically just a glob of purple. Alright, does this continue? Yes, it does. I think that's the end of the purple chain, though. I actually have no real idea what comes after, I guess it's Onyx. Okay, we're not quite to Voltorb yet. There's 2 more. Is it Krabby? Of course it is. Also one I tend to forget. So Voltorb's number 100. It's just an easy number to remember. That doesn't really help for most of the rest of these because I do not have the National Pokédex number memorized for most of the Pokemon, so... Are we going to Safari Zone yet? Okay. This is a big pull. I usually forget Execute and Executor, but I also forgot them the last time I did that, so it's still somewhat fresh in my mind. That was like a week ago, but still. The ordering after this is kind of weird though, because there's a lot of... Is it Hitmonlee first? I'm not actually sure. Tangela maybe? There's just a lot of single stage stuff and I can never remember what comes first. It might not be any of them right now. Or maybe Coughing? No. Coughing's kind of randomly inserted in here from what I remember. Cubone? Oh my gosh. I can spell Marrow. Marrow, okay, we're gonna get anywhere just staring at it. Gotta go through and list all of these guys again. Pretty sure Tangela is one of the first ones, though. Maybe this is the Hitmons. Yeah. Now is your horn, Tangela? We're gonna keep going in this circle for a while. I could never remember. Lickitung. Okay, now. I'm a bit stumped. Maybe Coughing? Yeah, alright. Thank you. Why must you be this way? Ready to Lickitung. Now is Rhyhorn right on. Come on. It's finally... Okay, it's finally out of the way, thank goodness. Ugh. Is it fish time? Yeah, it's fish time. So for some reason, these guys are all in a row. So I remember that, and then I never forget Horsey, Goldeen, and Staryu. Tauros, maybe? Still a bit early, perhaps? Mr. Mime? Oh goodness. Discorder is another kind of annoying one. Pinsir, maybe it's Jinx this time? Yeah, okay, and then is it Electabuzz or Magmar first? It's Electabuzz first. Now Pinsir? Okay, now Tauros. Cool, there, that's the single stage line there. Ditto, Eevee. And then I think it goes in the same order as the birds. Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon. That's something I only noticed the last time I did this as well. Porygon, Snorlax. Oh, I need to do the fossils in this keep forgetting about the Gen 1 fossils. Which is weird because I actually like them. Kabutops is one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon even, so... But it's not enough, I guess. Okay, Articuno Zap. Oh my gosh. Zapdos. Starts with a Z. U2 and U. Okay, there's Gen 1. Gen 2 is a lot more rough, unfortunately. And I think this one starts off with Sentret. Yes, it does. Alright. And then it's the other normal type, which in this case is the nighttime one, which is also the flying types. And then you have the daytime bug and the nighttime bug. You have Crobat. For some reason, Chinchou and Lantern, even though you can't. They are in New Town, but you can't get them until a lot later. Whatever. Then you have some babies. The first part of the babies. No? Oh, does it start with, starts with Pichu? Okay. And these, so the evolutions, the babies, whenever they show up in groups like this, they always go in order of the original Pokédex. So you have Pikachu, then you have Clefairy, then you have Jigglypuff. So that's how you can remember that order. It's if you can remember this order. It's just another crutch, I guess. And then these guys I used to forget a lot, so now I remember them. Reap, Laffy, Ampharos, is it Meryl? No. Blossom? Now Meryl? Correct? Is it Meryl? Sudowoodo is pretty early, and that's flanked by Politoed. I don't know why that always stood out to me. Gosh. It gets so hard. There's just so many random single stage things inserted into the Johto Pokédex. You know, Apom's somewhere in here, maybe not yet, but it's somewhere. Might even be here. It is. Thank goodness. Is this Sunkern? Wow. Can't believe I remembered that. Eon. Okay. Hooper. Quagsire. Are we starting to get out of the early corridor and into the random stuff? Yes, we are. Okay. So this is like all the early game stuff, and then after this point it feels like Johto is mostly organized chaotically, at least to me, so for some reason Slowking is in between Murkrow and Mischievous. And then it's Unknown and Wobbuffet and Girafarig, just random psychic types for you. Then we have like kind of cave stuff. Malabar, Steelix. This is completely random and it took me a long time to remember Snubbull and Gramble go here. This part is always hard. Remoraid? No. Teddiursa. Gosh, I hate this part. It might be Quillfish. Yeah. I got stuck on that forever last time. Another random fish, maybe Sneasel. I just remember that one being kind of early on and not where I'd expect it to be. Swinub? I forget Swinub a lot for some reason. Maybe this is bugs? Oh, it's bug time. Okay. The Johto bugs are all kind of the, like, single kind of ones. I mean, Scissor's not single, but you know what I mean. Yeah, what happens after them, though? Now is it time for Teddiursa? Oh, gosh. I have to keep recalling Teddiursa or else I'll forget it. I forget it a lot, so... Corsola? Dang. This part sucks. Maybe Sneasel now. Okay. Alright, I'll accept that. I will accept that. Okay, now I have no idea, actually, so... It might be Slugma, actually, oh my goodness. You know how I got that? I remembered red. It's like I recall the color red. It's amazing how well that works for me. Doesn't seem like it should. What color do I remember next to you, though? I'm just drawing blanks right now. Okay, now it's wind up time. You, I feel almost certain are Remoraid. I was wrong. Gosh darn it. Corsola first? Perfect. I think most of the water types are kind of here, and also Delibird for some reason. But now what? It wouldn't also put Kingdra here, would it? Of course not. Wait, Skarmory? Oh yeah, that one was always random. Healing to me. I remember Houndour and Houndoom are next to it. Sometimes. Sometimes I remember that. I actually forget Skarmory a lot. Which is a shame, I actually love Skarmory. Is this normal type corner? There's a little line of random single stage normal types in here somewhere. It might start with Porygon 2, actually. No. Which again isn't single stage, but it's on its own because its evolutions are not in Gen 2. Anyway. Steel type. Ground. Water? Oh yeah, it might actually be Kingdra time. It is. Thank goodness. Now Porygon 2? Stellar? Smeargle? Dang it. Oh, this might be the second babies, which I think starts with... Yeah, no, that's not right. Okay. Okay, this might be Phanpy. Yeah. Gosh. Now babies? Now normal types. Normal types. Okay, got it. Remembering these groupings is like the only way. Okay. Now babies? Yes. Don't know why it starts with Tyre. I mean, I guess the Hitmons are before Jinx. That makes sense. Right. Miltank. No, not. It's evolution. Lissy. Then you have the beasts. Does that start with Suicune? It does not. I think it's Lugia first. For some reason. Okay. That Gen 3 is usually easier for me, but we'll see how it goes today. Okay, it's Poochyena first in this one. That's a bit different, but it is the first Pokemon you ever encounter. In Ruby and Sapphire specifically. Which they changed to Zigzagoon and Emerald. Right. I'm hearing movement upstairs, sorry. Is this Slowtad next? Yes. Gosh. I can type, oh my goodness. It's my real weakness here. Is it Ralts now? Yeah, it is. Okay. Surskit's also on that route. In my opinion, Taylor's a little bit out of order because I'm pretty sure you get to it right before Petalburg, but after the route Ralts and Surskit are on, it's fine. Probably Forest next. Yeah. Then the route after that gets a bit out of order around here because you randomly have like maybe a Zerl? No. Kind of have some Granite Cave mixed together with the last of the Pokemon around this route. Now Nosepass? Yeah, that comes before Skitty and Delcatty for some reason. And Skitty and Delcatty are in the same route as Whismur. You know, Zerl's like the route before that even. It's weird. But I think now it's just Granite Cave stuff. Does it start with Sableye in a while? It does. That's kind of weird. Now we're moving on to the electric route. So this goes electric types first. And the stuff you think should be electric type. Volbeat. Say. Did I put? I put too many else, didn't I? Okay, then poison? That's the end of that route. Okay. Which normally would transition to Fiery Path, but I think this is where we have our first kind of random water Pokemon break, which starts with Carvanha. You don't fight. If you're playing Sapphire anyways, you fight Carvanha around here. I just don't think you can fish for it yet. Okay, so that's your first couple of water types. There's another couple in a little bit, but now it's Fiery Path. Then I think we have the first desert break, because for some reason the desert is split up into two parts. Cacnea and Cacturd. So Baltoy and the fossils are in the second half. Now we're moving on to around Meteor Falls area. Does that start with Swablu? It does. Perfect. Zangoose and Viper. Solrock. Lunatone. Then Solrock. I don't know why the version exclusives keep flip-flopping. So you have Lotad first, and then Seedot, which is Sapphire, then Ruby. Then you have Zangoose and Viper, which I'm pretty sure is Ruby, then Sapphire. It's weird. Trips me up every time. Do we have Barboach? Is this the second? Yeah, this is the second water type couple, but it's in a less weird spot because it's actually around where you fish up Barboach. And then second desert, maybe? Yeah. So then we're going into like the rainforesty area around Fortree City, which I believe starts with Feebas. I always remember Cast Form is next to it, and I mean they're in the same route, effectively. But I also remember it because of the manga, because Ruby has both of them. Those parts were tricky though, because it is a bit nonsensical. Like, I think we jump all the way to the ghosts at some point. Maybe not yet. Maybe that's after Kecleon first. Yeah. Then ghosts? Yeah. I don't know why they're here, because Tropius and Absol are definitely before these two. But they put them here anyway. Tropius comes first. It's broken up by Chimecho, I believe. Randomly. Kumst. Is this the... There's one more baby. Yeah, why not? It's why not, isn't it? Yeah. And then we go into ice. Ice. Snorunt would be first, actually. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Only my fingers wouldn't keep getting ahead of my brain. Probably be so much faster than dive. Then dive. For some reason, Luvdisc is the last non-pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Don't ask me why. Salamence. So this was the first generation to mix up where they put the pseudo-legends. They used to put them in with the legendaries. You'd have like the sub-legendaries, and then you'd have the pseudos, and then you'd have the legendaries. But in this gen, they're like, what if we just kind of put them around when you actually acquire them, which is the pattern they've kept mostly going forward. There are a few exceptions still, like I think Paldea, they're mixed in with the legendaries again, I don't know why. Right, but then it's Regis, Latis, then Kyogre first, then Groudon, Jirachi Deoxys, yes. Okay, now on to Sinnoh. No, right, you fight Starly first. That's the first encounter. I can put in Bidoof. Yeah, I always kind of forget Kricketot and Kricketune. Then is it Badu before Shinx actually? No, it's not. So Gen 4 is the only one that I actually have named in order before on its own. So it wasn't even a dex order, I just did it by myself. I had to like practice it really hard and then I never did it again and kind of forgot about it. So I can still do it fairly— oh right, yeah, Badu. I can still do it fairly well, but it's not perfect anymore. That was a long time ago. Actually, it's been several years since I did that. Why did I do that? Shieldon evolves into Bastiodon, not Rampardos. Then you start having the honey tree stuff sprinkled in, which is broken up mostly by the Valley Windworks, which starts with Patrisu. Yeah. And then you have more tree stuff, which I think is Truby and Cherum, and then you have Shellos, Gastrodon, back to the Windworks. And you have Ambipom, another tree, and then the last of the Valley Windworks. But not the last of the tree stuff. Then you're going to the forest, which is where you get Muniri and Honchkrow. Ismagius? Oh, those two are kind of out of order then. I think it's Murkrow first and Johto, right? Yeah. They're version exclusives, so maybe that explains it. I don't know why version exclusives are never consistent in the order they appear in. Right, so then you have Glameow and Purugly. Then Chingling, which breaks up Glameow and Purugly from Skunky for some reason. Even though you'd think they'd be paired off if Glameow's not going to be in order from when you can actually get it, since they're kind of version exclusive counterparts. I believe... do we start with... No, Gibble's definitely after this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Who else? Oh, it's the babies first. Yes, yes, yes. So, Bonsly, I'm Junior, Happiny, then Chatot, and Spiritomb. Then you get Gibble. So you get Strength and can backtrack to Wayward Cave, even though you can kind of encounter them early in some versions. Then you have the last Honey Tree thing. I don't know why. Then Lucario. And then you have like all the Great Marsh stuff. I do not know why they put it in this order. Then you have the fish, I believe. Yeah. And Mantike. And then you have the snow. Snover on the snow. And Weavile. And this is the end of the Diamond and Pearl decks. And the start of all of the evolutions they added, even though you couldn't get them in Diamond and Pearl. Now these ones are in order, National Dex order, from where their last previous evolution was. So it gets kind of weird because Leafeon and Glaceon, for example, are ordered based on where Umbreon and Espeon are, not based on where Eevee is. This is with Gen 2. I'm not going to use that cheat sheet right now. I'm just gonna... Wait, I'm an idiot. I put Lickitung instead of Licky Licky, didn't I? Then Tangrowth? No, Rhyperior first, right? Because it's pretty earlier. Pretty early, I mean. Then do we jump all the way to Electabuzz, or am I forgetting someone? Of course I'm forgetting someone. Am I forgetting? I can cheat and look back through. Did I put the wrong one? I typed the wrong name, didn't I? Who did I put? Electabuzz? Did I try to write Electabuzz in there? I think that's the end of Gen 1. Can move into Togekiss now. Then... is it Leafeon? No. Who else is pretty early on? Mega... Gen 3 now? Gallade? Yes. Okay. Dusk. Noir. It's not next. Whomst. Who? Probopass, of course. Yeah, not the most memorable. Frostlass. Who's the last one? Then you get Rotom, and then you get all the legendaries. Uxie, Mesprit. So, in kind of the weirdest order. Remember, Dialga Palkia next, then Heatran and Regigigas, and then Giratina, then Cresselia. They isolated it from the rest of them. Then you get the kind of mythicals and whatever the heck Fiona is supposed to be. Arceus. Alright. That's good. Now Gen 5 starts off with Victini because I just wanted to be special. I don't know. In my opinion, Gen 5, 6, maybe 7 are like the most in order. And you can actually encounter everything. So as long as you can actually remember what order you go through the region in, it's not too bad. So here you have the Dream Yard, and then you have the next route. This is a little weird because you have to go to the tunnel first, but I believe this actually does put PETA first, yeah. You do technically step foot in the route before you step foot in the cave, you just can't access the grass until after you do the cave stuff. Which makes the Pokemon feel out of order. But only slightly, it's not too bad. There's an A here. Okay. Then Dustcow, Trillbur, Excadrill, yeah. Then you unlock Shaking Grass. This transition, so we're outside of Pinwheel Forest now, I think. So Timber, Herder, Conkeldurr. Now I think we're in the forest, so Swaddle, Swadloon, Annie, Pinwheel Forest, yes. Venipede, there's a lot of stuff in Pinwheel Forest. Whirlipede, I get spell with 2 L's for some reason. I think we're out of the forest now, so that would be desert, I believe. Basculin's here, because fisherman, I guess. There's a fisherman in the desert you can fight. I don't think you can even get Basculin yet. Do you have the criminally underrated cactus here? Yes, Maractus is great. People should think about it more often. We're kind of getting into Desert Resort a little bit, but I think first we have Stwabble? Crystal, then Scraggy? Yeah. Then Desert Resort. And Relic Castle. Charizard Bridge. No. Oh, no, you have that whole route first. That's right, that whole route with the trash. Zora. Technically in the forest proper, not on the route, but it's fine. What? What am I forgetting? What else is there? Oh, the chinchillas. I do quite like Chinchino, so I usually don't forget them, but it doesn't always. Where is this? What is happening? Gothoritel? This is Gothoritel. Anyway. Now the bridge. And then cold storage. Which I often skip over, but not today, apparently. And outside of Chargestone Cave. Yes. Emolga gets added as a Shaking Grass encounter, but they put Tearling and Sawsbuck first. Then Chargestone Cave. No. Do you get Surf first? I think you get Surf, yeah, because you get that from Clay. Which unlocks Fearless, Jellicent, and Alomomola. Then Chargestone Cave, okay, gosh. Who comes next? This is where stuff gets kind of iffy for me. So go to the airport. You have to go to Lost Tower. So you put LGM first, even though it's only on the top floor. You unlock Strength, so you go back for Axion Fracture, yes. And then you go forward. Is it Twist Mountain first? Yeah. Then you have the more stuff, I think. It's Shelmet. And after this point, everything kind of falls apart in my brain. So I know the routes, like you have the department store. I think Poniard and B-Sharp are around there too, but the department store and Victory Road, all that kind of area, all that in between area kind of gets jumbled up in my head. Oh, but before I get too carried away, there is Dragon Spiral Tower. Yeah. Okay. Is it Buffalot? Yeah. Birds? Birds. Got it. Birds. Then you go into the anthill. Right, which also has Dino Line in it. Correct! Then Larvesta at the end. Do you think you might technically be able to get it earlier than this, but you have to like go all the way back to Route 1 or whatever and surf for ages. Gosh, I think it's the swords first. So Cobalian's gonna be no, it's not. Verusian's last for some reason. That's why Walking Wake and Learn Leaves are together. Suicune and Verusian are last in their pairs, and then they showed off the first one in their trios, and then they didn't even show off the middle one. You had to find that one in actual DLC. So that's a bit of a trick, I guess, to remember the order those come in. Both the Sword of Justice trio and the Legendary Beasts. But then you also have Tornadus and Thunderous, which is broken up by Reshiram and Zekrom before you get Landorus. And then you can have Kyurem. Congratulations. I guess these guys are next, the Mythicals. Meloetta. Genesect. That's it. Okay. Gen 6. I almost typed Rowlet. You would always want to skip Gen 6. I don't even know why. I actually quite enjoyed Gen 6. So it's not like one of my top favorites, but I do still like it a lot. Why can I not remember Frog? Thank you. No, Fletchling would be first. It shows up first. Oh my gosh. What? Is it Bunnelby? Why is Bunnelby first? Fletchling's like quite literally in your face. And it's scripted to be the first, or I think Pidgey is. Scripted to be the first encounter. Anyways, whatever. We got there. Yeah, these are more or less in order. My problem is just I have a hard time remembering when exactly you can get everything since the Gen 6 Pokemon are so few and far between. Yeah, it's probably Flabébé. Yeah. I have a habit of forgetting Flabébé. Then Pancham. Then Skiddo. Then Pancham. I forget Pancham a lot too, so that's why I was kind of eager to try and get it out there. You go to the castle. Do they put Purfur first? They do. Perfume Palace, I think is what it's called. Okay, then the route after that is just where you start getting I think it's Spritzy first. Then you go through the cave and come out on the ocean side route. Binacle. Then we go back up towards the Rhyhorn route that takes you into the cave, which has the fossils in it. Then you travel all the way back down across the ocean into the route that has Eevee in it, and Geosedgetown, Halucha, and then they are also there. Then into the next cave connecting to Charlotte City, which had Carbink, and then I think is it the forest next? Yeah, the swampy kind of ghost forest. Just has Klefki around there, I guess. Hunkaboo. No, it's Phantom. Child Tree Stump, yes. I love Phantom. Actually, it's so cute. Then you have Ice. Why can I only think of the name Carbink? It's Bergmite, thank you. And then you have the cave that has Noivern. And then you have the legendaries, that's the end of the normal stuff. And then it went Diancie, Hoopa. Okay. I can actually remember the release order for those because I was actually around for those mythical Pokemon. I did not keep up with Pokemon news before Gen 6, so I missed all the other distributions. My family also tended to get games sometimes several years after release anyway, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get most of the distributions even if I didn't know about them. Okay, right. Now I can put in Rowlet. I had to wait a whole generation. I think this is bird first. Yes, it's bird first. This gen. Bah. Bird first, then Yungoos probably, yeah. Grabbit? Yeah. Gen 7's a bit of a harder one for me. It's kind of like Gen 6 where it's a bit spread out. It's got like weird density clusters. But so long as you can keep yourself on track on which island you're on, it's not too bad. Is it Oricorio first? Yeah. This is towards the end of Melee Island. The problem is most of it's on Akala, so... and then Ula'ula is hard because it's just like completely single stage Pokemon, which makes it really hard, but at the end of Melee you can go back to the cave and get yourself Lycanroc. There's also Marianne, if you let him call for help, the Corsola. But I guess there's something else first. Wait, did I put Wishy-Washy first? Yeah, that's a bit weird. I'm pretty sure you can get Marianne before Wishy-Washy. Then Akala starts, which starts with Fomantis? No, it starts with Mudbray, I think, actually. Yeah. Oh, this is like on the way to Brooklet Hill, I think it's called. Where the Totem Wishy-Washy is. Or Araquanid if you're playing Ultra, I guess. And you go through the farm. This might be where Type Null is. First place you fight Gladion. No. The first place you fight him is on the way to Brooklet Hill too. Type Null and Silvally are in here somewhere. I just can't remember where apparently. Are we Volcano times first? Volcano times first, okay. Then behind the volcano, I usually forget this route completely. Which means I miss like Stufful, Beware, Wimpod, I miss those a lot. I think this is mixed in with the jungle. Some Bounsweet is around here as well. Then you go into the jungle. Is it Comfey first? Yeah. Right, then you come out of the jungle and jump down, and on those little ledges you can find Wimpod. Technically you could do it before the jungle, but then you have to go all the way back around. Not so bad, since you have Fly at that point though. You can go visit Gladion in his little hotel room. I love Sun and Moon. Pyukumuku is also on that beach, I think. Then Type Null and Ula'ula are just kind of arbitrarily at the end here, even though you can't get them until post-game. Just because Gladion, I guess, even though you fight them early on in the island, not at the end. Whatever. Yeah, Ula'ula, this is like the hardest one, because it's a bunch of single stages, but you go up the mountain first, then Komala, then I was up to Mimikyu. I think someone else is first. Right, there's the power plant place. I think. Yeah. Togedemaru. Is it Bruxious or Mimikyu first? Mimikyu first. Then do we get off of this island technique? No. Drampa is on that island, you just can't access it until later. So it's at the end, I guess. But then you go on to Pony Island, which only has Delmice. Not actually, it also has Jingo. But that's the end. And then you have the Tapus, which are in island order. So it's pretty easy to remember. Yellow, pink, green, technically red? Will it? I don't remember. I do not speak that language. Red, purple. Anyways. Right, Cosmog. Of course. Then you have the Ultra Beasts. I think this one's Pheromosa first. No. That means Celesteela is the first one for the next batch of version exclusives. So weird that they do that. Another one's Kartana. And you have Guzzlord. And Necrozma. And then you have Magearna and Marshadow. And that's the Ascended Moon. Ultra has Poipole. Naganadel. Stakataka, Lycephalon, and Zeraora. Then you have the Pokemon Go tie-ins, still part of Gen 7, though, technically. Now we can go into Gen 8. Squavit, sure. Alright, awesome. Then Rookidee. Awesome. Gen 8, I would say, is usually my worst. The beginning's not too bad because it makes sense, but it falls apart rather quickly. Do I remember Nickit? Yes, I do. Then Wooloo. Oh gosh. Choodle I forget a lot. It's not next though. Oh, it's the Dandelion. Zafleur and Eldegoss. Then probably Choodle. No, then probably Wooloo. Gosh. Yamper. And then the mines. Fish plus Cramorant. Apples. Then fish. No. Toxel? What? Snake? Snake! Oh my goodness. I used to forget Snake a lot, but I guess I've done it enough to remember Snake. Can we get Cramorant, please? Thank you. So remember Snake, which means I also remember Sizzlipede, but that's not next. Gosh darn it. It's probably Toxel, actually. I know Clobopus is strangely here. I do not remember. I'm pretty sure you can't encounter it until like the snowy, like surfy route kind of area. Well, maybe you can encounter Clobopus earlier, but this feels early to me. I don't know. Glimatangle, I think, is next. Gosh, is this the start of the evolutions? Which would be Obstagoon first, probably. Yeah, oh my gosh. Alright, this is gonna be a thing. Berserker. I know Runerigus is last, so we just gotta get to there. Cursola? Oh my gosh, I'm doing it. Surfetched. These ones are more in region order than they are in national Pokédex order. I'm pretty sure. So that makes it harder. There's at least one more before Runerigus. There's like Mr. Rhyme. Okay, that's it. We made it out. Thank goodness. And then after this is basically pure chaos. I think it's because of the wild area. You can encounter pretty much anything at any time. But it's also mixed in with the rest of the random route stuff. I guess these aren't out of order, actually. I just forget the second half of Galar a lot because I didn't really... I still enjoyed Sword and Shield, but they're my least favorite main series Pokemon games, so it doesn't really stick out as much. The Pokédex itself is also kind of my least favorite, so that also does not help. I guess I can try Snob again. Yeah. Other snows? Stonejourner and Ice Cube. Sure. I think that's all the snow, though. So now it's basically just wild area chaos. I think Indeedee is back here for some reason, even though it's... I think it's in Glimwood Tangle. What? Do we have fossils yet? I'm gonna say no. Probably not. I already tried Cufant. I forget Cufant and Copperajah a lot, so... But who are you? It's always Gen 8. It's always the worst one. Oh my gosh. Probably another random single stage. There's so many of those. I know it's not Duraludon because that's at the end with Dreepy. Is it fighting type? Steel Dragon? Electric. That sounds right. Poison. Ghost. Ground. Rock. Fairy. Oh, I bet it's more Peko. Gosh, more Peko. Is it Cupid now? Of course it is. Hold on, is it Draco's ult first? It is. Incredible. Okay. Are we at the end yet? Yes, we are, thank goodness. I always forget one of these little... Someone from this line. It's almost always like the last Pokemon I'm forgetting. Whenever I'm naming them, not in order, obviously. Just like, normally. Okay, now we have to go into the DLC though. Urshifu, Zarude, because that was released in between the DLC packs. Then you have the Regis, which are out of order. It should be Regidrago first, then Regieleki. Because you got these guys in order, like the Stone Age, Ice Age, you know, and then they put Electric before Dragon. It's like medieval after the modern day, I guess. I don't know. It's like so... Why? Why did they do that? It is so close. Is there anyone else? Spectrier, Glastrier? Yeah, okay. Then Calyrex. Alright. Hisui. Wordier. Then Cleavor. Second area, Ursaluna. Basculation? Cool. Overquill? Less cool. Sneasler. Then Overquill. Enamorous. Hate Enamorous. Okay. But we can move on to Dread Success now. Which is also tough since it's open world. It still goes more or less in order, just like if you look at the leveling up, at the levels that all the major bosses are, the Pokemon are kind of ordered as if you are going in level order, even though you do not have to. But if you have ever looked at the leveling up, then you'll also know that it flip-flops back and forth across the west and the east side, like almost every other battle, so it's really hard to put in order. But we're not quite there yet. We're still in the beginning. Is it Mousehold next? No. Fido. Wait, Tandemaus. But Mousehold first. Obviously Tandemaus is first. Still not that though. It might be Palmy. I forget Palmy all the time actually. It's just kind of sad because it's the Pika clone, but Palmy and Morpeko just kind of fizzle out of my mind. Fido. I think we're kind of out of the beginning part. So Swallow and Olive, go to Katie first. Then you flip, I think, to Cloth all the way through Artisan, probably. Squawkabilly. The Rock, Snackly-Knackle, Stack, Garganackle. Now probably Charcadet. Yeah. Electric types, I forget Tadbolt, Bellybolt all the time, so I'm starting to try and commit it to memory that you have a bit of an electric type pairing here with Tadbolt and Watchroll, which I never forget, at least so far. Yeah, but then I don't remember what happens after that. I know I forget Strudel a lot. It's not Strudel though. It might be Maschiff though. Yeah. Then Strudel? Yeah. Okay. Strudel's just kind of randomly placed as far as I'm concerned, because you can get that in the first area, and then it's in the Painted Tree Forest where like the poison, where Atticus is, but this is around neither of those. So I don't really know what's going on. So it means I'm not entirely sure where to go from here. Desert? I say this is a bit out of order too, because the desert... Well, actually no, it's not because of a water guy. Cubfood's the only name popping in my head. I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, I guess you would do that before Orthworm, the mines. So I guess this makes sense. Food's cool. Oh my gosh. Not quite desert, technically, but we're getting there. Is it Capsicid first? It should be Capsicid, realistically, because that's pretty early on, too. I haven't... Cloth hasn't entered yet. This is definitely, like, maybe a little bit out of order, even if you were going by levels. Oh, he's so hard. Are we technically in the desert now? Flittle? I find Flittle on like the same route as Capsicid, but it's fine. It's fine. Bombardier? It's the next Titan, but I guess not yet. But the other rolly guy, Grellor. Ska, sure, I'll take it. You can also find these guys all over the place, really, but there's ruins in the desert too, so I guess it works. Now are we going back to the mines? Or Bombardier first, maybe? Oh my gosh. Why is this like this? Water? Is it water times? Okay, water times. Fine. Fine, don't put Finiza next to Wiglet, just make my life harder. Maybe Bombardier. Yeah, of course, why wouldn't Bombardier be in between Finiza and Wiglet? Why wouldn't it be? I guess because you have to surf to access them. Well, technically, you can probably catch them even before you have surf. If you can snipe one from shore. Now probably mine stuff, yeah. Is it Cyclizar first, actually? Yeah. I put that in with the mining stuff, I'm not sure why. Well, do Verumbers show up on the same route Cyclizar it does? I think of the route that's like by the fire type Team Star. So I think the star earliest place you can find Cyclizar, but I think Verum's technically not until the mine. I could be wrong. This is also where Glimmet starts trickling in. Greavard? Yeah, alright. Kind of transitioning to the mountain, which is also where they put Flamigo for some reason. Then you come down from the mountain and deal with all of the fish. And then you have the evolutions. That is not how you spell. Cool. Alright, Paradox Pokemon. Fluttermane, of course not. Fluttermane is encounterable before you fight Sada, but they still put... who was it? They still put Group on it first. I think they do the same thing with the future Paradox ones. Perfect. Then it switches to future. Sub-legendaries? No, actually, it might put Frigibax next, yeah. Then give me Golden Go, number 1000. Then you have the minor legendaries, which starts with Wochian, I think. Yeah. You and I know Chiu's last. Okay. Then you go back and have Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant. And then Koraidon. And Miraidon. Then you have the kinda event only Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. Then you have the DLC. Does that start with Dipplin? It does. Second part, we have Archaludon, Hydrapple. You fight Drayden with Archaludon, and then you fight Kieran with Hydrapple. Then you have the other Paradox Pokemon, which goes Raging Bolt. No, Gouging Fire. Then Terapagos and Pecharunt, of course. Cool. That actually went a lot smoother than it usually does.